AnnyeongBuzz, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel where we talk K-pop honestly, passionately, and sometimes a little emotionally, because let's be real, this genre does things to us. Today's news is one of those moments that feels both celebratory and bittersweet, especially if you've been following this artist closely over the past year. Singer Baekhyun is officially wrapping up his first ever world tour as a solo artist, and he's doing it in the most symbolic way possible, right back where it started in Seoul. From February 2nd to the 4th, Baekhyun will hold the Encore concerts of his world tour, Reverie. At the KSPO Dome in Olympic Park, Songpagu. And yes, all three shows are sold out. Now before we even go deeper, I want to pause and really sit with that fact for a second. First world tour, solo artist, KSPO Dome sold out Encore concerts. If that doesn't already tell you how massive this moment is, then we need to rewind and talk about the journey that led here. Baekhyun began this tour in Seoul back in June last year. At that time, there was a lot of anticipation, excitement, and let's be honest, a little bit of nervousness from fans. Not because we doubted his talent, but because this tour represented something bigger. It was his first world tour alone, without the group name attached, without sharing the stage, fully standing on his own as Baekhyun the soloist. Fast forward 6 months, and this tour has taken him across 28 cities. South America, the United States, Europe, Oceania, Asia. That's not a small run. That's not a test tour. That's a full-scale global statement. And the fact that he was able to maintain momentum, energy, and fan engagement across so many regions says a lot about his consistency and connection with audiences worldwide. What really stands out to me personally is that the KSPO Dome performance also marked his first time performing at that venue as a solo artist. For idols in Korea, that venue carries a lot of weight. It's not just about capacity. It's about recognition, legacy, and proof that you can fill that space on your own name alone. And Baekhyun didn't just perform there. He sold it out. 3 nights in a row. Now let's talk about the Encore itself, because Encore concerts are not just repeat shows. They are usually where artists level up, according to reports. These Encore performances showcased even more advanced stage presence and live performance. And honestly, that's exactly what you would expect from Baekhyun. But it's still impressive when you think about the physical and mental toll of a 6-month tour. By the time most artists reach the end of a world tour, exhaustion is visible, voices get strained. Movements become safer, energy dips. But from everything we've heard and seen, Baekhyun actually became sharper, more confident, and more emotionally connected by the time he reached the finale. That's not easy to do. Here's my personal take. This tour felt like Baekhyun quietly but firmly proving a point. Not loudly, not aggressively, but confidently. A lot of people already knew he was an amazing vocalist. That was never the question. The real question for many was whether he could carry an entire world tour alone, night after night, across continents, without relying on group dynamics. And I think this tour answered that question very clearly. What I also find interesting is the timing of this tour in his career. Baekhyun is not a rookie trying to introduce himself. He's not in a phase where he needs to chase attention. This tour felt more like an artist reclaiming his narrative, reminding everyone of his artistry, and reconnecting with fans on a deeper level. The title Reverie. Itself suggests something dreamlike, reflective, almost intimate. And that tone matches everything we've seen from the performances. Another thing I want to talk about is the global response. Touring 28 cities across such diverse regions is not easy. Audiences in South America react differently from those in Europe or Asia. Language barriers exist. Cultural differences exist. But Baekhyun managed to create moments that felt personal in every city. That says a lot about how he communicates emotion through performance, not just lyrics. Now I want to open this up to you. If you attended any stop of the Reverie. Tour, whether in person or through clips online, did you notice a difference between early tour performances and later ones? Do you think artists should always end tours in their home country, or is it more meaningful to end somewhere unexpected? Let me know what you think in the comments, because I'm genuinely curious about how fans interpret tour finals. Another question I've been thinking about is what this tour means for Baekhyun's future as a soloist. After successfully completing a world tour and selling out Encore concerts at KSPO Dome, the expectations moving forward are naturally higher. Do you think his next album should go even more experimental, or should he stick to the sound that fans clearly love? Should his next tour be even bigger or more intimate? There's also the emotional side of this finale. Ending a 6-month journey in Seoul surrounded by home fans carries a different weight. It's closure, but it's also a full circle moment. Starting in Seoul, traveling the world, and coming back stronger, more experienced, and more confident. That kind of narrative doesn't happen by accident. It's built through discipline, trust in oneself, and trust in fans. Let's also talk about live vocals for a second. Baekhyun has always been praised for his live singing, but maintaining vocal stability across dozens of concerts is no joke. Encore performances that show improvement rather than decline tell me that he managed his voice smartly throughout the tour. That's something fans don't always notice, but it's crucial for longevity. I also think this tour quietly redefined what people expect from solo male vocalists in K-pop. Often, there's an assumption that solo tours need heavy production, dancers, and spectacle to hold attention. Baekhyun proved that strong vocals, emotional delivery, and genuine interaction can be just as powerful, if not more. So here's another question for you. What do you think was the most important takeaway from Baekhyun's Reverie World Tour? Was it his vocal growth, his stage presence, his connection with fans, or the sheer scale of the tour itself? Or was it something more personal that resonated with you? As we wrap up, I want to say this: not every world tour needs to be loud to be impactful. Sometimes the most successful ones are the ones that quietly leave a mark. Baekhyun's first world tour feels like one of those. It wasn't about proving others wrong, it was about proving himself right. And ending it with sold-out encore concerts at KSPO Dome is not just a flex. It's a statement. A statement that Baekhyun as a solo artist is here, he's stable, he's evolving, and he's trusted by fans across the globe. If you enjoyed this kind of discussion and want more honest K-pop conversations like this, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And most importantly, drop your thoughts in the comments. I read them, I respond, and I love seeing different perspectives. This has been AnnyeongBuzz, and I'll see you in the next video.